So what are your first memories of visiting Royal Albert Hall?
My first memories of visiting was around 2000 actually I thought it was 2007. I've just seen a poster downstairs that says 2006. It's when Jay-Z was performing here and I was supporting him on that UK tour. And yeah, we done loads of shows around the UK. Then I think he done Wembley for London, and then after the tour finished, they done like this special show um, where he changed up everything, and he had the live orchestra and all that, and it was the Royal Albert Hall, and I was supporting that show as well. And that was the first time I had been here and was just like wowed by the show, and I can see how much he cared about it, and that he treated it a little bit differently. And yeah, it was from then I always wanted to play here myself. But yeah, I had great memories then.
Would you say that maybe fed into your decision for On the Hoodies or Summer Tour to play at the Royal Albert Hall as part of that? Because given the homecoming show in London, was the Royal Albert Hall always in your mind to kind of play?
Yeah, that first experience definitely, was one of the reasons why I wanted to play here myself. And when it came to this album, I was talking about venues, and that was just top of the list. And we had it booked, and then the album took a little bit longer than I planned. Then we had to cancel it. Then we was like, can we get it booked again? But I just knew that's where I want to play, you know what I mean? And the music I was making, I was like, this is where it needs to be showcased. And it's rare that artists like myself, or from the background of the music that I make, really gets to showcase their music in a building like this. So it was gonna mean a lot for me personally and as a creative, but mean a lot for our culture and our genre as a whole. So I knew it was going to be important, and therefore is why I spent so much time on it and put so much into it, and just wanted that to be the best show it could be.
Yeah, because at the show, obviously, you had an incredible stage set up with steel pan section near the organ. You brought out a plethora of guests. You had gigs, DWE, Gets, incredible musicians on stage. It seems like you and your team put a lot of effort into the show itself. Now that you've had a few weeks to reflect on it, can you just sort of tell me about how that night went and how you feel about it?
Yeah, that show, we put so much into that show, so much rehearsals, and so much money, so much everything, so much energy. But it was sick because everyone was on the same page and just knew that all energy was leading towards this show, and we wanted it to be special, and to just like create a memorable moment. You never forget playing a building like this. And it was weird because I was present in the moment, and I was glad that I was, but after the show ended, I couldn't remember anything about it, and I kind of like just distanced myself from it for a couple of days afterwards. And then I started looking at my phone again, and all the messages I was getting, all the people putting up the clips, and it was like I was reliving it through people's footage. And just remember when gigs came out, it was like crowd went mad, and me and Gets going back to back, and it was just like I don't know, man. It took a while to sink in. Maybe it still hasn't, but yeah, it's definitely up there as one of my favorite ever shows. And just to have we had 44 people on stage that night, and just to have the string section, and then bring the pans, which is like Caribbean culture, hitting England and just representing that as well, because that's what we're about, you know what I mean? Just like representing like where we're from. And it feels like that kind of show could have only happened in London, It's just that melting pot and that mix of music. And I don't know, I just feel like we said a lot that evening, and I would remember it forever, I believe.
So with the Royal Albert Hall, what do you think it is about it that makes it different to other venues? Do you think it's in the architecture? Do you think it's in where it is? Or
I think the grandness of the architecture, in this building, and the history of the building. And just as you walk through the corridors, and the corridors backstage, you just realize like the weight. Even the room I was just in then, and like the people on the wall, just like, okay, wow. So a lot of people have played it, a lot of great people. So all of that kind of goes, into the performance. It's like you carry the weight of what's happened before onto that stage, and you want to make your mark. You don't want to mess that night up, And I remember Get saying to me afterwards, I think he was like, he's like, he felt like a gladiator on there. It's like he felt like a coliseum, and he was just, you know, and just like when the crowd roars, and because of the shape of the building, just how it reverberates, it's just like different to anything else we've ever played before. You know what I mean? It's 5,000 people. That feels like 500,000 people. You know, it's crazy. And just, yeah, like, because the boxes are there, and I know who's in which one, and I can see my mum up there and my little nephew that was standing on a chair, and it's just like, yeah, so the way the building's laid out and just the history of it all goes into, you know, the night that you can make it.
So that particular show is part of the Albert session, and as part of that, you came back to do a workshop with a group of young musicians from differing and also sometimes challenging backgrounds. Do you think it's important for music venues to do more to help aspiring musicians?
Yeah, I think it is important, and I've just done a workshop that was a part of the Albert sessions, and I really enjoyed it. It's not really something I've thought of before, of what other venues should be doing and whatnot, but obviously Royal Albert Hall is doing it, and I think it's a great thing. You know, a lot of people that was in the workshop was, you know, at the show that night, and yeah, just to give back, you know what I mean? And people think giving back's like giving. No, it's just about inspiring, you know what I mean? Giving some of your time, you know, to hear where they're at and what they're interested in, and maybe some of us are interested in the same thing, and music production, and we can show you how we do it and what goes into creating a song, you know, that you can one day then perform at a building like this. And it's just, I don't know, I think it's just a beautiful exchange, you know what I mean? And yeah, I'm really thankful for the opportunity to do that. And as I said, it's nothing I thought about before, but maybe it is something that other venues should be looking at. But, you know, yeah, I think it's an amazing thing.